Hey y'all, it looks like I'm my own cook today. My cook, because I'm the baker, so I say my cook as if he belonged to me. Our restaurant's cook. He has the day off today, but I could have asked somebody else to make my meal, but I'm like, nah. We're kind of picking up, and it's already going to be about 3 o'clock my time, and so I started. As a baker, I do have to wrap the items that we send out, or some of the items that we send out, and I started picking, and I'm like, ooh, that's a bad habit. And so, what is it? Mindless eating. And I was like, oh, and I don't like that feeling because it doesn't lead to any satiety. And then you're just eating mindlessly, and it's not good. And there's sugar in this, obviously, in the baked goods that I make, in the majority of the baked goods that I make. And so today I am going to do, I have some green beans they're good. I don't want to say that they're going bad. They're still good. But if I were to leave them alone, say for another day or two, like maybe in 2 more days, they might become questionable. So I'm going to eat that, toss it with some chicken. And I have my little setup here. It's a little bit of a mess what I have going on because I've been working like especially long hours. And then, but the chicken, when I got that rotisserie chicken, say whatever it was last time, I portioned it up. And so this is probably maybe like about 5 ounces. I'll say 5 to 6 ounces of the rotisserie style chicken. And I'm going to toss that with some green beans, do it with some amino acids to give it some flavor, maybe some garlic. I don't know if I want to add ginger today. I think I'm gingered out because I made a peanut, what was it, a peanut coconut soup, not spicy. Normally I'll add some sriracha to it, but not today because I did another, we had some spiced, in addition to the baking, I also make the daily soups. We had some spiced sausage, and then so you want to do, too spicy, so you have to like try to do your best to accommodate to the different palates. And then so I think I'm gingered out. That's where I was going with all this, but I will use garlic. And right now my little area right here is heating up, my little plug-in deal. You probably see my mess in the background. I'm going to take about 30 minutes. I have my timer set and do my meal, quickly eat, review some recipes for some groups that we have coming in. I'm going to be making some fudge, and I'm really excited. I love, my favorite thing about baking, which is not even technically baking, but is confectionery. I love making candy, especially fudge. I'm a huge fudge fan. And so, but what I wanted to talk about primarily, aside from my blood type A meal diet today, which is actually, going to be green beans. So the green beans tossed with the chicken. And aside from that is that about inflammation. And then so yesterday, once I shut the camera off, I had to say compensate for my meal in terms of like protein. I had yesterday's meal was, it was like a baby Caesar, it was a baby grilled chicken Caesar salad. And then one of my coworkers brought me like a mixed kale salad with cranberries, slivered almonds, and it had some dried cranberries in it. I picked out the chickpeas. And so I was still feeling a little bit hungry. So with my meal, it probably sounds a little bit weird, but I had added some, what is it, roasted peanut in there. And then so to help get in my protein, but also to add to satiety. But aside from that, later, because I went back to work, it was like about a 13-hour day. Anyhow, I ended up earlier in the week, I made it was like a lemon crumb coffee cake, you could say. And then so yesterday was its last day of life. It was still good, but not for the quality, for sale. And then so I ate a piece. And the most horrible thing about that is that I ate that piece of cake having sugar, which is a very one that I'm doing my best to avoid. It was also at 9 p.m. So I'm snitching on myself. And why I bring that up is that this morning, I noticed my eyes were a bit red, and I was like, oh gosh, yeah, I don't have any eyelashes anymore. So the debris does get into my eyes, can get into my eyes, but I think I've become used to that now since I've been experiencing, my eyelashes fell out, like 2 months ago. And then, so at first it was very noticeable, but now I've learned how to say, wash my whatever remaining hair, like in the shower, so that, stuff doesn't get into my eyes, because I no longer have like the eyelashes to like blink off the shampoo or the conditioner. And so, but this morning I was like, ooh, I saw some bloodshot. And where this all goes back as to our diet is that sugar. And then that's why I'm snitching on myself about that cake. Because yesterday I had coffee with that toxic creamer and, the French vanilla and caramel macchiato by like what I think is like International Delights. And then later that day I had the cake. And so what it is that for us, when you experience alopecia, one of the contributing factors is if it is an autoimmune disease, as most autoimmune diseases, and I might have mentioned this before, I have a coworker, she was just like, she has her own health concerns, and she was saying, yeah, they call it an autoimmune disease when they don't know what else to call it. And so with alopecia, or where I was going with that is that with a lot of the autoimmune diseases, they are believed to be contributed to, like, they have an inflammatory nature, and so sugar contributes to inflammation, which can be bad for your joints. They can contribute to arthritis. But with persons like myself who experience alopecia, we experience the inflammation in our hair follicles. So sugar is a inflammation trigger, which impacts our hair follicles. And so with that, my understanding of that is that when it becomes, say, the hair follicle becomes inflamed, that it'll push the hair out. So, and then that will lead to, I guess, additional hair loss. And so back to the redness in my eyes this morning. I don't know if I just woke up like that, but usually when there's redness in the eyes, it can indicate kidney issues, liver issues, but I think it's primarily kidney. And then also, and that I will refresh my studies is to see, because also depending on where the redness, when we're talking about like on the actual white part of the eyeball, depending on where the redness is at within the eye, that can be an indicator as to what organ is being impacted, or where the stress, which organ is being stressed to contribute the redness. Again, depending on the placement, that'll give a clue whether it's your liver or your kidneys. And so, but again, with the food choices that I made yesterday, I'm suspecting it's my kidneys. So if you do have, again, I'm a medical nothing. This is just all in my own healing journey, or my experience in navigating through alopecia. And as far as, but do, maybe if you have severe redness in your eyes, and especially a prolonged redness, then be kind to both your liver and your kidneys. They do work in conjunction with one another. So and like I did a post just recently about coffee. So coffee and sugar combined does directly impact the kidneys. And in addition to coffee being a diuretic, so it's extra stress that our bodies don't need, because we don't want to introduce things that it needs to like combat immediately when we're in the process of healing. So I'm going to get to my meal, and y'all have a great day. Thank you.